I am your host, Keith Andrew. Along here is the talented and beautiful Carrie Masrini, and I just want to say thank you for being a guest on my talk show.
Thank you for having me, Keith.
Now, for people who want to know what uncensored is, uncensored is my way of showing people that even with a learning disability, I can still overcome controversy and reach my goals in life. At the same time, I'm able to turn myself into a perfect example for people out there deaf, blind, or in a wheelchair. But you should never label yourself or have people label you. You should prove that you can still mount something no matter what. And you have a half hour, 45 minutes window. You have as much time as you like. Say anything you want. Curse if you want. And it's completely whatever you want to do. And now for our listeners, I'm going to do something brand new. You can go to the KeithAndrewNetwork.com. Go under my social media. You can follow me on Twitter and Facebook. And also you can submit subjects for me and my guests to talk about. If you have any subjects you want me to talk about or for my guests to talk about, go to KeithAndrewNetwork.com and submit your comments or questions. No, anything's better than nothing, right? So, just throwing it out there. And now, starting off, what can you tell me about yourself?
For me and my side, I've been acting on and off since I was a little kid. I went to school for studying this here in New York. And you had mentioned you're from New York, Keith. I guess, like for me, a lot for me it was always memory and things like that, and I guess overcoming like ADHD. I've had issues with that. Also with the auditory processing, and so I guess it's interesting. Like, cause when I was a kid, I mean, I'm really short. I'm a short girl. I'm like 5 foot, and the story that you had mentioned, like everything, it was actually really interesting because a lot of people saw me as a short kid. Well, she's not really processing, and even speech therapy I had to have as a kid. I would pronounce words like elephant would be funt. I would never, the beginning of the word.
Mm-hmm.
People would try to just teachers, the school districts were like, well, why don't we retain her? And, she might be, by the time goes to prom, I think somebody mentioned this, she'll be able to be tall enough to, join the rest of the kids. And I think my father had mentioned to the teacher, like, what does prom have to do with her at the age of 7? Exactly.
Right.
Yeah, it's just ridiculous. Thank God, I haven't had any other issues, but yeah, things like that have, held me back, and, or at least been challenges for me to overcome. So.
Well, if it makes you feel better, we're in the same boat. It's all in my book that I'm working on, but I do struggle with what you said, speech therapy. I went through that. In ADD, HD, I have that. And it depends on what I'm doing. If I'm really into something, like doing this or using something, I'm stimulated. It doesn't matter, hours go by. But I'm not sitting there, and if I have to force to be injected and watch this horrible thing or whatever it is, I'm just like, I can't do it. I'm crawling up the wall. I have to be active. I like to be part of things instead of like, okay, that's terrific.
Yeah. People were just always like, also, like, what are you thinking of? What are you looking at? Or my mind would be somewhere else. Or sometimes people thought that, well, we're not talking about this. We're talking about this. But okay, I had these other thoughts from something else from maybe we were possibly talking about. But it's interesting, a lot of people that have certain goals and certain, I guess, usually are looked at as eccentric, I
Right.
guess. They, you know, they've stuck to that one thing, and it really actually paved the way. And a lot of them are celebrities, actually, that are very, not that celebrity is everything, but it just, like, they're known for that one specific thing. I think, like, I can't say this for sure, but I think possibly, like, I don't know if this is a fact or anything, but I think maybe Slash, just somebody that I like. I love to see his work and everything, but all he focused on, you know, it just, certain people have that, just, okay, I'm just going to stick with it, this is what I know, you're going to try to talk to me about something else, maybe I might process it or not, I'll work my way through it and just go through.
Well, that's like me. I learn hands-on. Like, if you tell me something, go read this book. I'm not. Yeah, I may do that, but it won't process. But if you sit down and you go over it with me, like using this pen for example, the point is, if you take the time to show me, you know, may not get it the first time, but by the second time I'm going to. But, you know, it depends on the person. And in the same story when you mentioned about prom, they said to me and my parents in my freshman year when I was in high school, oh, we know your son has a learning disability, but we promise you after these 4 years he will be a functional adult in a wink-wink society and he'll be able to do this, go to college. Nope, last day of school, here's your diploma, go fuck yourself. And I hope you enjoy retail for the rest of your life.
Yeah, and it's a shame because, like, there's other, I think, I went to college, and I think it was probably one of the biggest mistakes that I went to. It wasn't for me, it was, you know, there's other issues, but it was for my parents that I went to college. But I think, you know, there's certain schools, like certain technical schools, certain schools that are just, whether it be like cars, whether it be the arts, whether it be some kind of craft or
Trade.
Thank you. There's a focus to it, and it helps somebody with ADHD just to go, boom, okay, this is what I need to, this is what I want to know, this is what I can only focus on, and that's why those schools are a good help to people, like us. And once I got out of school, I immediately just went to certain other teachers and just to zero in on that and focus on that, just on that one specific thing that I wanted to learn, and just went from there. And I mean, it took a while to figure that out, obviously, after school, but it makes sense, you know. And I think, like, when I have kids that's gonna pick up a trade, possibly, you know, just learn that, see if that's what you like, or at least pay the way for school or something. If you can focus on that, good, great. Or just, if you can, just go right straight to school if it's easier. But, you know, I think there's a lot of pressure, though, where that whole, especially for me in my story, but college was just, you know, it's the American way, so.
Right.
Yeah.
Now people are not going to college. You know, like I said, we're pretty much in the same boat for the most part. Mm-hmm. I didn't want to go to college, too. Well, only I wasn't given the option. In the schools that I did want to go to, I'm looking at my brothers and my sister, and, you know, they're doing jobs they don't like to do. Well, some of them anyway. And all they get out of it's a big-ass college bill. You know, owing tens and thousands and student loans. It's like, you know, that would have been great. You know, I would have gone there, gotten nothing, and well, what do I have to show for it? Well, how much is your college bill? Or mine's this much.
yeah, it's up there. It's pretty up there, but it's like, you know, it's also just a lack of, also, I think, education of where I wanted to go in my own in my own life and what I specifically wanted, as opposed to what I thought people wanted from me. I think there's a lot of it is also culture, But today it's like it's smart because people are just finally realizing that it's a complete, there's nothing wrong. I mean, college degree, it's great to have. It's excellent if you can get it. But if there's, for me, like one of the people in my life that was just brilliant. I was in a program when I was like 15. It was kind of like the equivalent to the Big Sister, Little Sister program.
Big brother, little brother.
Yeah, exactly. And she was my big sister, and still now my big sister to this day. And she's, always pushing, like, think positive, and the book, and it became popular, the Think and Grow Rich book. And the stories in that were just really pretty incredible. Just, you forget, like, Henry Ford didn't graduate, I don't know, second grade, I think it was. I can't remember specifically, but, people like this who actually change, the world.
Yeah, like George.
Lack of source, lack of sources, or lack of money, lack of things, and it just, what was it? I think, and then a lot of these other people she turned me on to was like another story. Tony Robbins tells about Colonel Sanders. All he had was that recipe at the age of like 60-something years old. Yeah. I don't have anything, but here you go. Here's a great recipe for fantastic fried chicken. So there you go. I mean, and I think there was, you have a little something, and at least you can go from there. You can branch out and see where you can go. And
yeah, look at George Carlin. George Carlin dropped out of school, and he's one of the most famous comedians ever. He's a legend.
Brilliant. He was a brilliant man, too. I love a lot of his books, writings, and just great quotes that he has. Yeah. Came from nothing. A lot of people. And certain people, like, I mean, you can't really, like Marlon Brando is one of my, I love him and stuff, and he had an autobiography and everything, and how he got to New York, and I mean, it wasn't at the time remembering that biography. I wish I did back when I had was going to college, but he just went straight out to New York, and he was just, and it seems like he just stayed on that one thing, and things might have been, tried to have been a distraction, but, just went straight on through.
You broke onto the other side.
Yeah, exactly, yeah, yours.
But look at you have your own place, and you're an actress, and you do voiceovers, and I'm still working on getting my own place, get myself out there, but if it was a competition, I guess you would be beating me.
No. It's funny. It's like everybody's got, especially now today, I think, because with all of our technology that we have, I think, because one of my friends and I, my best friend, we formed a production team together, and we're putting up some we have different projects, webisode and audio production that we're doing, and it's I think there's a lot of everything for everyone. Yeah, it's grown. Some of the market has shrunk because everybody's doing it, but then again, it's like what you want it. Go do the best you can for it. So. and people will recognize it. So there you go.
Now, when you were in college, so were you a study nerd, party animal?
No, I was probably about both. I don't know how I did that, but yeah, I studied. Because I had to, because it was really, I can remember just, a certain professor I had, and trying to write the way he wanted me to write, and I mean, I was going to the learning disability center to get help, just so I could have the way it was, things like that were correct the way he wanted. Still wasn't perfect. I knocked my ass off on that. I was like, I remember just like, seriously, it's almost like a banker. I partied hard and I studied hard, so,
No, I understand, and
Yeah.
it's all about just, you have to endure a lot of shit to get where you have to go. That's the point of life. You have to take in the bad to get it to the good parts.
No, you're absolutely right. And a lot of those, and a lot of those, getting knocked around, it's just like, it's been, and everybody has their battles, nobody's got a worse, you're either built to conquer something or not, I think, and at least, so it's just, you gotta focus on, or figure out on how to maneuver, I guess, and keep the boat afloat in order to get over that hill.
That's true. Now, did he ever do any sports, or did he ever win any trophies, or athletic?
Oh, trophies, yeah. I was athletic? No. I'm not athletic. What else? I was always good in anything that was artistic. I sew. I was always good in sewing. I was in fashion club and all this other, it was called fashion club, I know, in high school. What was it? I was good at photography. Always good at photography. And I was great at drawing. Things like that. Very, always in the artsy-fartsy world of things. People asked me to be in cheerleading, and I just never, I didn't have the self-confidence, and I think it's a lot of, just having trouble at a young age, just having teachers, or having a little too much expected out of me that I just couldn't, provide, it just kind of, I just couldn't put myself out there as a cheerleader, so.
Yeah, I understand. Now, when he said he did photography, can he do professional headshots, or do you just mean just professional pictures?
Oh, I did professional pictures. I mean, I did a lot of I did some headshots for some people. Back in high school, I did have people sit in and everything, but I'm from Chicago originally, and I remember taking pictures everywhere around the city back there, and even it was a film camera too that we used. So we used a lot of dark room stuff. So yeah, I developed my own film and photos and used an actual enlarger. I'm not really great on Photoshop. My business partner takes care of that. So I'm not good at that part, but yeah, the other stuff, yeah, the old school stuff, I think I'm pretty good at.
Well, if you're interested, I would love to work with you.
Oh, hey, absolutely. Let me know. you do the series and you do, I've seen a lot of the people that you talk to and stuff, and asking, and let me know what else you're into or something.
All right. Well, we can always talk about it off the air.
Absolutely.
I mentioned before you went on the air. Now I can mention it now.
Okay.
Did you ever get the chance to do one of those human pyramids, or you never got a chance to do one?
I'm trying to think of looking back at my childhood. Maybe in college I did, and I just wasn't aware of it. Like I said, I studied hard and partied hard. So maybe I did do a human pyramid that I'm not aware of, but I've never, can't recall, because, But yeah, you did ask me about that.
I love that stuff. I know I'm a loser and everything, but...
No, you can't say that. That's the worst thing you can say, Keith, really. Anybody can say that, certain people have, their own, what is it?
Floss.
What?
A floss.
That's not a flaw. That's everybody has their own, little,
defects.
quirky things that they like. Yeah, and it's I can't think of, I can't think of anything off the top of my head. I'm looking around. Oh, there you go. I photographed, I was hanging out with somebody the other day, and they just thought it was the weirdest thing that I have a collection of photographs that I've taken, and they're of old bars, right before they closed here in New York. And this person was like, why do you take pictures of bars that are about to close like this? And I go, well, there's a lot of history in these places, and they're disappearing. They're just something, and they just couldn't get through their mind. Why do you have to taking pictures of them? So, there you go. Enough said. That's what you should say. Enough said. I like it. I like weird things. Whatever.
Well, while on the subject, when I was in my junior year, unfortunately, I should have kept it on the book, but, I told someone about it, and they said, oh, that's creepy, to get rid of it. Basically, I collected soccer articles with good-looking women, the soccer girls, and I came, and I got 100, from all 2005 and 2006, and I made a mistake, and I told someone who I knew, who I thought he was my friend at the time. He said, that's really creepy. Why do you always, because it was the best soccer collisions. So, but I'll give you a perfect example. One page, there's these three girls chasing the ball. And you see the ball in the air, but the three of them are just pancake together. That's, I like that picture. That's really cool. I keep that one. And there's another one where another girl tackles one of her friends from behind, and she falls back, and her other friend jumps over her. That's a great shot.
You know why? And you know what's probably what fascinated you about those pictures, I think, is that they were athletic and strong women. And they probably were just... There's something weird about that then. There you go.
That's right. I tried recently looking those pictures up, but there's nothing. I was like, oh, wow, I should have just put it somewhere. Like those yearbooks I used to have. And that's a question for you. Do you still have yearbooks?
No, those are all, lost and gone. In some ways, I'm kind of glad they are, I don't... And not in such a, bad way. There's nothing bad about them. I mean, I can, it's really those moments, I think, that really you will stick to your mind about school, and certain teachers, those will never go, and, I mean, it's just a book. if I want to replace it, I'm sure I could write to one of my schools that I went to and say, hey, can you send me one? But really, it's just, it's great to have some memories to keep, but, you don't want to always be, I think, dwelling on certain times. It's just, you got to always look forward.
That's true. And when I was part of the audiovisual department, I was constantly running around with a video camera, making videos of every little thing. And I came up with 10 of them, tape 1, tape 2. Eventually I got to tape 10 and 20. And I threw them out because I was watching it. And I was thinking, this is the most horrible shit I ever did. And I can't believe I did this or that. And, even though I can say, looking back on it, I sort of kept it for the most part, there were certain people in the film that really you just wanted to forget. And it's like, you thought they were your friends, but they weren't your friends, and they were stabbing you from behind, and not literally because they'd be arrested, but they would verbally be stabbing you from behind, and it's, I just, in some ways I kind of miss it. I remember it a little bit, but I don't, and the good news is I don't have a VCR anymore because it broke. Not saying that's good news, but I'm saying if I did have the tapes, they would be useless.
Yeah. Well, VCR, yeah. Yeah, it's funny, like, that's one of the things that in my, life, I think, just with the ADHD, the auditory, and just, I guess, how it affects you and learning in the world, the one thing that has helped me a lot is, just, I think, meditation and keeping yourself grounded. It's just, and especially recently, I think I've really been using it. Just, you just don't let those, I guess, like you put it, those backstabbers or the vampires. I call them the vampires that just kind of like they kind of want to hold you back from what you really want to accomplish in your life instead of, they're almost like a wolf in sheep's clothing. It's just, they're not really who they portray themselves as.
No, well, on the subject, what type of school did you go to? Was it a public school, and how were you treated?
In high school, all through high school, I went to a public school. I was a very quiet wallflower. I'm not quiet now. I'm like my friends. Anyone who meets me now is just like, huh? You? Quiet? No. Yeah, these days I'm chatty now. But back then I was just, I don't know, to me, like, I think the styles of clothing really has not changed that much, but, like, I always wore black when I went to school. I'm wearing a black shirt, I know that today too, but, it's just, whatever, it was clean. But, what is it, like, I always wear black, but everything's like, why do you wear black? Like, meaning, like, parents or somebody, like, you have problems, no, watch MTV. Like, that's the style everybody wears. It's like, maybe I have that weird artsy-fartsy kid look that I was not aware of. I don't know. But, everybody was wearing, like, today everybody wears black, too, all black clothes and stuff sometimes. Sometimes they wear colors, too, weird ones that just, I don't know.
But, like you said, it's just colors.
Yeah, exactly. And it's just like, especially like I think also, anybody who has, and I don't know how it is in other, disability situations, learning disability situations. But, you know, just the one thing at least, like, for me, just being, I guess, in my little cocoon of, of just not knowing where to go, not really sure who to trust, not totally confident and just with the words that I was using and saying. Something like art and colors and certain things do, you know, project, you know, they can help in some ways. And I remember, like, being a kid in my art class, and my art teacher loved me.
Mine hated me.
Huh?
My art teacher hated me.
Oh, I'm sorry. Her name was Miss Branch. She just loved the colors that I had. I knew, you know, maybe that was it. I saved all my colors for my art. Maybe that was what I was doing. Who knows?
My art teacher used to smoke a pack of cigarettes before teaching a class.
Oh, really?
I hated sitting next to her, so I sit next to a damn ashtray.
I'm trying to think of, you know, and I mean, you know, like in high school and in elementary school and things like that, the teachers were, you know, you sometimes have a hit and miss with certain teachers. I can think of a great handful of teachers that were just wonderful and really great people. My 6th grade, Miss Englehart, I had a teacher, God, why is his name blanking? I can picture his face right now. And he used to, like, he was my algebra teacher, and I don't know why, he would just do goofy things in the middle of, 7th and 8th grade I had him. And he had, you know, those super bounce balls that are, like, about that big? He had a shirt pocket, and he'd always throw it across the room and just catch it in his pocket, and everybody's like, yeah, I don't know, there's just certain teachers that you connected with, and just some that just were just the devil themselves. You know, it's just, they just did not have, it's just, there's that saying, there's certain teachers that teach because they love to teach. They like to encourage and help students, young people, find their way in the world, and then there's also other teachers that are just like, well, they failed at their own lives, so they got stuck teaching because those that can't do teach. So there you go. That's my riff on teachers. So the ones that are awesome, there you go. Thumbs up to you.
It's hard to find good teachers, but especially I went to a suburbs school, and you went to the city school, so that's also the difference too.
How so for you? Because I went to a suburban. I lived in suburbia, and I couldn't stand suburbia, but it was it's everything that it's not New York and what you wanted, because it's just it was just that that small frame-minded.
Yeah.
And what was it? I was very, like, for me, I wanted to explore the world. I wanted to learn new people. My mom would be like, God, why do you have all these different kinds of friends? Or it's like, well, why not? It's the world. That's what the world is. And when I got to New York, I just, wow, yeah, this is what, I can walk here. I can walk and I can meet these people. Or, oh, yeah, they're a little off where I come from, but I gravitate to, people who are, at least not afraid to be who they are.
That's true.
Yeah. So, like, especially in the suburbs, there's a very, one way you can look, one way you can act, and that's the way you're accepted. So yeah, that was a little hard. But also, I think it helped me stay true to who I am. especially after I was just done with school, completely done with school. I was, I mean, I still take classes here and there outside of school, like, you know, after college and everything, but it's, you know, it helps. You know, you're more relaxed. You're able to focus on what, you know, on memorization for me, or paying attention, staying focused, not drifting and looking at the walls or wow, one of those moments, you know. Yeah, the suburbs were a drag.
The school I went to was basically a rich, snobby country club. And so basically, if you had money, and if you were link in the in circle, you got to do whatever you want. Because if you were an outcast, you basically got the shit end of the stick on everything.
Yeah, and you know, it's interesting because my mother gravitated to those things. You know, that's just the way we lived in. You know, it's funny because the beginning of my childhood, very small, peanut home, modest life. That wasn't enough, so we moved to a larger subdivision. You know, it sounds a little bit like that. And every house looks exactly the same, well manicured. Everything is, where did you go shopping today? How the women meet in the middle of the street, talking, you know, the mothers are all talking about who's doing what. Oh, so-and-so's, you know, yeah, I mean, it was one of that neighborhood actually kind of, that was the time in my life where I was just like, this is, you kind of, you know, and I think somebody with like, ADHD or something like that, or certain things like this, they're more in tune to noticing people, I think, and certain things that are a little, you know, this isn't right, you know, this isn't for me, you know, there's something off kind of thing.
Right.
And yeah, you notice that? You ever notice? Yeah, that's what I noticed as a kid. And it was interesting. And sooner or later, we did have to leave that neighborhood. And it wasn't a disappointment to me at all. It was, don't get me wrong, it was a little pretentious, and I mean, it's a beautiful neighborhood, it was a beautiful town, but it just wasn't it's not what, those small places are not what life is all about. In New York, that's alright, is what life is all about. Just saying, no.
No, I understand. Now, wrapping up, do you have any funny stories you like to share?
Funny stories, God, I got a ton of them. I guess the one thing that I can say off the top of, no pun intended, off the top of my head, I once shaved my head. And, I got rid of all my hair. I actually started letting it grow back in 2 weeks. Somebody said, would you shave your head for $500? I said, yeah. 2 weeks later, I wanted my hair back. So ever since then, I've had long hair. I can't go back to having short hair. But yeah, it was great. It was right to the scalp. So yeah, that's about as wacky right now as I can think of at the moment. So
wrapping up, do you have anything you want to say to your fans and listeners?
No, at the moment, me and my friend and business partner Sonia, we're working on some webisodes and upcoming projects. So you can keep in touch with me on Facebook, and I have my own website. Maybe I could just, you know, type those in later. So, but yeah, you know, keep in touch. Thank you, Keith.